Kia ora technology classes, and today's lesson is being delivered to you by a video and a relief teacher. So welcome relief teacher, whoever you may be. I hope you enjoyed this experience. At any stage the video can be paused while students actually do the instructions. I'll probably even make suggestions when it's time to pause the video. Right, so what I want you to do is get yourself into Animate. So tap the Windows key. Go ahead and start typing Animate, A-N-I, and open Animate up. Alright. Okay, so your screen's going to look kind of like this. So we'll just go ahead and click File, New. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start on the Advanced tab. So go ahead and click Advanced up here. And we're going to go onto Web 360, so click onto that, but before you go further, let's actually change these settings in here. So I'll make it 1280 by 720. Okay, and we'll leave the frame rate at 24 frames per second. Go ahead and create that. And then you should have a pretty nice screen over here. Let's reduce you down to being a less distracting size. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab our paintbrush and go ahead and choose a nice bright color. So you just go choose a color that you quite like. You can see the size of my brush, which isn't too bad. Remember, you can make your brush bigger and smaller by using the brackets on your keyboard, which don't seem to be doing anything for me, but you can get the idea. Otherwise you can just head over here and resize your brush. There it is there actually. Okay, maybe about 4 or 5 would be good. Right, I'll go Control Z a couple of times to clear my screen. Now I actually want to be able to see my entire screen, and so I can actually put my mouse about here and drag that up and just kind of center that a little bit. In fact, Control 0 will actually center my screen. Now if your screen doesn't look like mine, just go up to Window and down to Workspaces and change to Classic. If you're missing things, go ahead and reset Classic. Alright, so what we'll do is we will grab our brush and we're going to go ahead and just draw some sort of little pattern type thing. Squiggly line pretty much all the way across the screen, like so. Okay, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint back over there. I've actually done an extra dot, so we'll get rid of that. And we'll just paint over that like so. You can get a little bit fancy if you like. Just keep it relatively close. Okay, so we're painting in 2 directions. I'm running out of keyboard space, so I'm just going to have to move my keyboard. There we go. Got a little zigzaggy there. Yeah, like that. Okay. So it's going to give me just a interesting couple of squiggly lines heading across my screen. Okay. Give you a moment to do that. Teacher, you could pause the video now if you feel a need to do that. Right, now that you've got that going across your screen, we're going to duplicate it. Okay, so I'm going to go Control A, so hold down Control and tap the letter A, and that will select everything on your screen. Control C, hold down Control and tap the letter C at the same time to copy, and then Control V to paste. Okay, don't do anything yet. Now that you've made a copy, we want to go Modify and Transform and do a horizontal flip. Okay, so now you're going to have this kind of heading all over your screen. It's looking pretty good. Then we're going to go Control A to select all of that, Control C, and then Control V. This time we'll go Modify, Transform, and do a vertical flip. Okay, so you can see that it's got all over the place. Now obviously if you did something a little more interesting, you might get a slightly different look. Let's go Control A again, Control C, and Control V. Alright. Now I'm going to go Modify, Transform, and rotate it by 90 degrees. Alright. So at any time this video can get rewound and go back and follow those steps. So no need to panic. Alright, so we've got this going on. This is looking pretty nifty. So let's select all of this. Okay, so teacher, probably just give a chance for the students to catch up. So pause the video. I take it you're back now. So Control A to select everything. Modify and convert to symbol. Okay, don't worry about naming it, just click OK. Alright, so now what I have is a interesting kind of squiggly thing. We're going to rotate this. Alright, so let's head out maybe 2 seconds. Click over here somewhere. Right click and insert a keyframe. Make sure it's a keyframe. You don't want blank. You don't want any of these other things. You want the keyframe. Okay. So now what you should have is a black dot here and a black dot here. Okay, which are both keyframes. In between these keyframes, you want to right click and add a classic tween. Now nothing's going to happen yet. So that means we need to head over. I might have to click on here, just make sure this is highlighted. Click over here and come to rotate. I'll zoom in so you can see what I mean. Come over to rotate and change this to either clockwise or counterclockwise. Doesn't matter, just choose one. Alright, now I zoom out and tap the enter button on my keyboard. Okay, sometimes it just doesn't want to work. What space bar do it? Maybe enter. Yep, tap enter, and I'll get this little rotation going on. Okay, pretty cool. Right, so that's all good. So let's go ahead and save what we've got so far. So we'll just go Control S, save it to your desktop. Let's give it a name. Let's go VR 360. Okay, so VR 360. That might give you a clue to what we're about to do with this in a moment. I'll go ahead and save that. I'm kind of hoping my voice is loud enough because I'm actually a little bit far away. So we will find out in a few minutes when I actually test this video. Alright, so at the moment this is going to rotate around the screen. Okay, like so. Let's go and change our background. So we'll click on the black arrow at the top of our screen and click anywhere on the screen. Anywhere. Over on the right hand side you'll see your stage. Let's click on that and change our stage to black or whatever color you like really, but you know, just change it to something. Okay, so let's go ahead and test what we've got. Alright, so I'm going to hold down Control and I'm going to tap Enter on my keyboard. Now it's going to take a little while to build our VR 360 world. Okay, maybe the first time it takes a bit longer than it's taken for me. So you can see that it's opened this up in a browser window. All right. Now if I drag my mouse, you will see this is pretty nifty. Okay, pretty exciting, probably life-changing. Okay. Now there's this one problem with this. It's actually in 360, so if we were wearing 360 goggles, we could be looking around and up and down, and that's all good. But the thing is, it's not really enveloping the entire world, although this may be what you want. You know, maybe it's some sort of magic umbrella or something, I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and close that browser window. Why is that not clicking? There we go, close that browser window. And pretty much what we're going to do is we're going to change this so that it is actually going to wrap around the entire screen or browser window. So we do that by coming up to here and clicking on this little button here, create texture wrapping for all layers. Go ahead and click on that and you'll see what happens down here. Alright, let's zoom on out and we'll go Control Enter again. So hold down Control and tap Enter on your keyboard and give it a chance to load up. So it may be a little bit longer because it's going to have to work a bit harder to achieve this full texture wrapping experience. Awkward silence. Yours will be loading now, so you know, all good. Alright, so if you actually come out here, you'll see that it looks a little bit similar, except you're kind of zoomed in a bit. Now if you drag with your mouse, you'll see that you are actually wrapped around. You can kind of see this kind of center vortex, hopefully. Now what you might also notice, oh, this is kind of a bit trippy, is that there's a seam right there.